Hey, Dave Summers back here with episode 7 of the greatest supply chain challenge in history, COVID-19 vaccine creation, distribution. The point is, global audience is what we're talking about. And I'm back once again with Sandy Vosk. Sandy, in addition to being an old and dear friend of mine, I consider him a mentor in many ways. Sandy is the founder of Advantage Technology Solutions, real thought leader in the space of supply chain management, not only the technology, but the people side of it as well. Sandy, we're back. How's it going?
Good to see you, Dave, and thanks so much. Another great day, and um, just feeling kind of sentimental today a little bit. Today's February 23rd. Yesterday in the United States, we passed a significant milestone of 500,000 deaths, which it's somber and it's kind of hard to skip over that and not acknowledge it. And this last year has just been a tough year, uh, incomparable to any in our lifetime. And so the theme today is agility and resiliency. And what I wanted to lead with is a quote that really inspired me from 9/11. And being a New Yorker, that was the worst experience until today, this past year that we had felt. And yet this quote is so motivational to me. It came out, it was Time Inc. and right after 9/11. And the quote is, if there's one essential quality that underpins success in a world of stupefying change, it's resilience, the capacity to adapt to radically new circumstances and emerge from a crisis not merely unbroken, but substantially stronger. And, that's just such a powerful quote and a motivating quote. It's kind of how I operate anyway. In every adversity, there's a seed of an equal or greater benefit, right? Napoleon Hill. So today, that's the theme. And so we had this great article that came from Gartner Supply Chain Technology Group. And of course, it's focused on the vaccine. But everything in this whole series that we've taken has been from the point of using the vaccine distribution as a means of sharing supply chain challenges and issues that affect the business world today as well. So the first quote from this article, and you're going to put the URL up so folks can see it afterwards. But visibility, real-time communications, collaboration, and digitalization are all key to supply chains being adaptive, agile, and responsive enough to the new criteria, risks, and requirements that new generations of vaccines present. And so that's just, first of all, a profound statement. You can break it up into three different ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, same for vaccines, same for e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear that statement, what do you think about it? What does it mean to you?
Well, Sandy, once again, I think we have this wonderful interweaving of methods, tools, technology, but the most significant thing for me is the people side of it. You know what I mean? Is this idea of being agile and responsive as people. That's what kind of hits the bell really hard for me.
Look at the first three words: visibility, real-time communications, collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
People, people, people. It is about people, processes, and technology is an enabler. So, I continue to see that, and we continue to see that as it evolves in front of our eyes, whether it's the miraculous speed of vaccine creation, how they're tracking this. Just now hearing, as of yesterday, that, we may have, over 700 million vaccines by July in the United States of America. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So the second part of this great article was, again, a tremendous quote about, what supply chain leaders need to do and think about to be successful in this world. And so I'll break it up into pieces. But supply chain leaders must develop streamlined yet resilient services centered on, they said, patient healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Change patient healthcare to customers, your patients, right? But to achieve that, they'll have to contend with vast amounts of data, which is increasing daily, insights and advisories coming from everywhere, and deploy processes and technology solutions that can balance agility with speed and efficiency in ensuring final mile fulfillment. And final mile fulfillment, whether it's Amazon creating unbelievable, benchmarks
Mhm.
for delivering within a day or within hours, or the final mile fulfillment of vaccines, of
Mhm.
people actually getting their vaccines. It's
Sure.
not enough to make the vaccines. It's not enough to ship it to the state. It's getting it to the people who need to be vaccinated.
Mhm.
So again, when you hear that, I mean, that's a chunk. But what do you take from that statement?
I'm going to lead a little bit harder on the resiliency side of this particular quote. If you have the structures and the flows, and not only the technology, but an understanding of the technology, it lends itself to being resilient.
Boy, I couldn't agree with that more. This is a slight tangent, but I'm going to be moderating a webinar this Thursday on the keys to success in e-commerce, flexibility and agility. And, the key person in that owns a 3PL. And, we'll save that for another day. But this is exactly what he was sharing, that what he's done
Hmm.
and how he's done it. So it's true. So that to me is really key. How can you be agile? How
Sure,
can you be resilient?
sure,
What does it take? I mean, part of it's attitude, but it's not just attitude.
sure.
So that kind of leads us to the three questions for this week.
Let's go. What are they?
So the first is this again for executives. Can you leverage your existing technology infrastructure to accelerate levels of collaboration, communications, and digitalization with your customers? What do you have right now? Can you integrate with it? Is it scalable, or is it something that's old or not strong enough to meet the need and needs to be replaced? The second is where, what, and how do data and events need to be captured to meet your customers' requirements for e-commerce? This is the same as true in terms of tracking the vaccinations. And what level of distribution should this be enabled for? You tracking on a label, a package, an asset, all of the above.
Mhm.
Or the temperature controls, if it's open, things like that, where sensors are now much more required. And the third, I really think, is it's an opportunity to pause and reflect as to where are the best opportunities to leverage your current investments in resources, people, space, technology to achieve better results.
Mhm.
Not throw away, but build upon,
Sure.
train, think a different way, a little bit more flexible in terms of what can we do
Mhm.
and include the people in the decision making. That's how I believe you get the greatest results.
That's fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing. And the people have to own that too. I mean, if the people own it, then it will progress. You will get engagement. It'll be amazing. Sandy, we got to wrap up. Remember, Sandy's email address is on the bottom of the page. If you have any questions or concerns or even disagreements with anything he said, please reach out to him. He's happy to engage in conversation. And we'll be back next week. Thanks so much, Sandy.
Thank you. Have a great day and a great week.